Okay, so this is a super fun listen. It's really I like the music, I like the groove, I like the production, I like your sound choices. There's a lot of nice stuff there. Maybe, you're hearing something on your snare, go ahead and fix that. Um this is good. But on the overall analysis, kind of like mastering style analysis, there's really two things that I would take a look at, like big picture. Um, the volume difference in your soft section and your loud section. And like I like dynamics, all right? I like the excitement and everything. Um, little too big, all right? Too much dynamics. The eh, the quiet part is going to come across as like a little bit too quiet. I would just like, automate some faders there, make it a little bit louder. It's nice as an effect. When it jumps back in, it's a little bit jarring. And then that's also to say that all in all, this would have to be louder in general. And then through final limiting and final compression, that like jarring transition is only going to get more jarring. All right. So I wouldn't make them louder by compressing the master. All right. I would go in and do it on the track because in order to get the soft section like loud enough, you would be really compressing the shit out of out of the loud section. So go in and fix it on the mix. Just, you know, make that part louder or pick elements. Um the The next thing is I would really check your stereo imaging. Um, you're going fairly wide, but specifically between like 500 and 1K, 502K even. So your really crucial mid-range stuff is pretty overwhelmed by side information. So a lot of your note data is getting kind of like tamed out in mono. And then you're very conservative on stereo information like above 8K, which is where you can usually get away with, being a little bit wider. So I would kind of rethink your stereo plan. I'd be more conservative with stereo information in the mids, and if you want it to feel wide, um, lean towards being less conservative up top. Now it depends on what you're going for. Your top end will like disappear a little bit more, but that's a little more like societally acceptable. It sounds weak in mono. Yeah, so louder, a little less dynamic between the sections, and then check your mono, especially in the mids. And this could use a little more bass, a little more punch. I'm talking about like between 100 and 300. Feels a little bit empty and scooped there. Um, Yeah. So I'm being pretty aggressive with just like dumping low end into this, and it's not like um I was just I was using a Pultec. I was boosting two 250 and below with a shelf. So I'm bringing in like I'm and it's like a boost cut, so I'm mostly focusing it on that 1 to 300 area, and that's just bringing the meat, you know? We're really it could, especially cuz the bass line is very good and this is nicely produced. You've chosen good sounds, but you're being a little too conservative on that area. So probably like a monitoring thing, but you can just give oodles of you know, info down in that area, and it's not really mudding up or anything. The track wants it. It wants the low end. Yeah, headphones. So, yeah, little less cautious on low end. Or I should say specifically like that 100 to 300 area. You're good on like sub information. That's nice and dialed in. That feels pretty good. But there's a little bit of hesitancy in that, like, you know, it's understandable because too much in that area is muddy, but it feels like the punch and the groove has been kind of taken out of the track, and that's where it lives, that very crucial region. Even a little more. Um, the low end in the outro is more of a preference thing rather than a prescriptive thing. I have no problem with it. There's nothing wrong with it. It is, it's nice and rumbly sub. It's just a question of what you want it to do emotionally, you know? There's something about like keeping the strength on to the end, or there's something about fading that low end out and letting it become exposed and vulnerable. It's that's an artistic decision rather than a technical one.